After my last video, I was enjoying a dram of Laphroaig PX cask, and I thought, this is a really interesting whiskey. I should do a video about it. But then I remembered it's a travel retail exclusive, which means it's usually only available in retail shops. And I had a dram of Ardbeg Corryvreckan right after it and said, yeah, this is the whiskey. Let's do this. Hi, welcome back to Whisky Riffs. I'm Kevin, and today we're going back to Islay to do some smoky, peaty whiskey. Now, I mentioned in the intro Laphroaig's PX cask, and I said that this isn't easily available. You can only get these kind of whiskeys in duty-free shops or travel shops. I don't want to review something and you say, wow, that would be great to try, and then find out you really can't get it. Put it in the comments and say, yes, give me those whiskeys that are hard to find, and I'm happy to review them for you. In episode 1, I reviewed Ardbeg Uigeadail. It's one of my favorite Ardbegs and one of my favorite Islay whiskeys overall. It has a sherry cask finish, which takes the edge off that peat and smoke. Today, we're going to do Ardbeg Corryvreckan, which is a much purer Islay whiskey. It is straight peat, smoke, heat. It is everything you would expect from an Islay whiskey, and I really love it. Now, it comes in at 57.1% alcohol by volume or 114.2 proof. That's pretty high. It's cask strength, and that's a good thing because then you get to dial it down if you like to, or leave it at full cask strength if that's how you choose to drink whiskey. I like this at full cask strength, but today we're going to add a little water too and see what it does to it, give you some options. Now, Ardbeg Distillery has a long history. It goes back to 1815. They have closed twice, I believe in 1981 and again in 1991. It was that time period when a lot of distillers were having problems, when whiskey was not cool, when it was an old man's drink. I guess in my case it still is an old man's drink. But they were revived in 1997 by Glenmorangie. They bought the distillery, and quickly it became not just an award-winning distillery, but a lot of their whiskeys started winning world awards, and it has become one of my favorite distilleries. In fact, if I had to pick one distillery, and only one, to get the rest of my whiskey from, I would probably have a battle between Ardbeg and Bruichladdich, because they're both experimenting and they're both really good at putting peat and smoke at a high level, but giving you tons of other flavors. So don't be turned away just because I'm saying this is high peat and high smoke. There are so many flavors in here. Now, Ardbeg is one of my favorite distilleries because they are such a pure Islay whiskey. And the Corryvreckan, I didn't find out about until I actually visited their distillery. If you get to a distillery, that's a great place to go and say, well, let's try all these different types before I have to go out there and spend a lot of money on a bottle. on the nose right away. I'm getting a little bit of peat, but not much. It's mostly brine and seaweed and dark fruits, maybe berries, maybe a little bit of a raspberry or something like that. Also getting some little vanilla, and if I spend a little more time in there, spicy, maybe like cloves. Cloves, the things you stick into a ham. I used to bake hams with cloves. That's how I remember cloves. Yeah, the salt. It's like you're at the Islay seashore with that salt and that brine and a bit of pine needles. I'm getting pine if I sit with this for a bit. It's really a nice nose on it. The taste is smoke right up front, espresso, a bit of a meaty taste to it. Maybe like I've heard people say bacon. I don't know if I get bacon. Maybe more of a peppered steak or something to that effect. And the taste has definitely got the dark fruits. Yeah, I'm getting more of the dark berries, maybe a dark cherry even. A lot of pepper, a bit of wood, kind of when you have a hickory fire and you get that smell and that taste in your mouth from being near that fire, the smoke hitting you. That's what it's hitting for me right now. Very strong, very long finish. It's leaving me with dark chocolate, some cherry flavor there. I read online that people actually said chocolate covered cherries. I could see that, but it would have to be dark chocolate. It's not a sweet chocolate. There's that little bitter ending to it, but it's very powerful. It's got a nice long finish. There's a lot of oils. And the oils in a whiskey can really make the taste last. Coat your mouth. You can have a sip and 5 minutes later still be enjoying the flavors because of those oils. I really love this whiskey. It's not for the faint of heart. It's very strong. It's got a kick to it. You may need a safe word if you if you're used to the more gentle whiskeys or sweet bourbon or Irish whiskey. So someone's offering you this and you're not used to those, work out a safe word ahead. I like Margaret Thatcher. That's generally my safe word. Whatever works for you. I'm going to add a little water to this and see how that affects it. See if that changes the flavor much. When I'm drinking Ardbeg, even the higher proof ones like the Corryvreckan, I don't usually add water. So sometimes I forget that an oily whiskey like this can offer a lot more in flavors and smells if you just put a few drops of water in. Didn't change the smell dramatically for me. Maybe a little sweeter. Taste has more bite, more wood notes. Definitely a sharper taste. You put a little bit more water in. That was pretty mild for that much of a pour and this high of a proof. Yeah, more sweet, again on the nose. And calm down the taste too. I'm still getting that dark chocolate finish, the long finish, but the flavors that I get on the tongue aren't as dramatic for me, and I will probably not dilute this when I drink it. Please try water with these higher proof whiskeys. you might find that there's just a little bit of an edge that you don't like when they're full strength. But once you add a little water, they just open up and become beautiful for you. So worthwhile. Just because I'm going to keep it cask strength doesn't mean that's the way it should be drank. As far as availability, I can always get the common Ardbegs, the Ardbeg 10, the Uigeadail, the Corryvreckan. They're very good at distributing these, at least in my area. Your mileage may vary. Again, check with your local distributors. The price varies a lot though. At my more common place that I pick up whiskey, it's $70. But at a place that's my occasional stop that's closer to me, $90. So that's a $20 difference. So be careful, shop around. Great whiskey though, if you're into the smoky, peaty Islay whiskeys. So if you like Islay whiskey, let me know in the comments what's your favorite brand. Let me know what you find interesting about them and what ones you want me to review. And if you're not into Islay whiskeys, let me know in the comments what whiskeys you want me to review. As always, if you're enjoying these videos, give me a like, please subscribe. Subscribers help a ton, and bang that bell so that I can let you know when new episodes are arriving. Thank you for taking another trip with me to Islay. It's one of my favorite places. I'm definitely going back to do another tour as soon as I can, and I will continue to enjoy their whiskeys. And I hope you are enjoying them with me. Cheers. So be careful, shop around. The prices can vary wildly on whiskeys like this, especially if they're not stocking a lot of something like Corryvreckan and they're more in the Ardbeg tag, and they're more likely to 2 sips of whiskey and I can't even talk. They're more likely to stock an Ardbeg 10, and the Corryvreckan may be not as in demand, so they may jack the price up a little bit.